Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be discussing Constitution of India as per V2 syllabus. First module includes Indian Constitution, its necessary, societies before and after Constitution adaptation, Introduction to Indian Constitution, making of Indian Constitution, and role of Constituent Assembly. This is the first module. As per the syllabus only I have prepared the content. First content is the definition of Constitution. Constitution is nothing but a rule book for the state and the center by which the country can run. Right? It sets out fundamental principles, guidelines to state as well as to center. It describes main institution of state and center and defines the relationship between these institutions. This is the definition of Constitution. What is the need and importance of Constitution? For every country, Constitution is required if the country is a democratic country. Right? It required in order to provide set of basic rules that allows the minimum coordination among the members of a society. To specify who has to take the decision or decision making power in the society, it decides how the government will run. Then, to set some limits to the government that can be imposed on the citizens. Rules or regulations will be imposed by the government to the citizen. In the Constitution, there will be restriction for imposing such rules and regulations. These limits can be fundamental in the sense that the government may never violate the rules, and to enable the government to fulfill and aspirations of a society and to create the condition for a just society or a good society. Therefore, it is understood that the Constitution allows coordination, assurance. On other hand, it can limit the powers of a government in order to impose the law on the society or a citizen. If there is no Constitution, what happens to the society or to the country? If there is no Constitution in the country, justice will be denied to the citizens of a country. Justice will be denied. Thereby, it affects the happiness or peacefulness of the country or a society. Right? That's why Constitution is required in order to lead the life happily. What does Constitution perform for the society? Right? As I had already told you that it provides set of basic rules that allows the people to live together with the trust and coordination. It should specify how the government will be run and who will have the power to make the decision on a particular scenario and so on. Right? What is cabinet mission? In 1946, then Prime Minister Clement Attlee sent a cabinet mission to India in order to transfer the powers from British Indian government to Indian leaders. The mission had 3 members. How many members? 3 members. Right. Those members are Patrick Lawrence, who is the chairman of cabinet mission, Stafford Cripps, another member, A.V. Alexander is the third member in the cabinet mission. Totally 3 members are present in the cabinet mission. The main objective of a cabinet missions are to obtain an agreement with the Indian leaders as to form or framing of constitution for an independent India, to formulate a constitution making body, that is Constituent Assembly of India, and to establish an executive council with the support of a major Indian political parties. This is the main objective of a cabinet mission. Cabinet mission first proposed by M.N. Roy in 1934. In 1934, M.N. Roy first proposed the idea of Constituent Assembly. The demand was taken up by the Congress Party in 1935 as an official demand. The British accepted this in August 1940 as a August offer. Under the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946, elections were held for the formation of a Constituent Assembly. These members were elected by indirect elections. The Constituent Assembly was formed for the purpose of writing the Constitution for Independent India. Composition of Constituent Assembly. Initially, there were 389 members in a Constituent Assembly. After partition of Pakistan, some of the members went to Pakistan and number came down to 299. Before partition, what is the strength of Constituent Assembly? 389. After partition, it came down to 299. Out of this, 229 were from British provisions and 70 were nominated from the princely states. Right. Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was a temporary chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as a permanent president, whereas H.C. Mukherjee elected as a vice president of a Constituent Assembly. B.N. Rao was the constitutional advisor of a Constituent Assembly. Right. Here, making of Constitution. The Constituent Assembly met for the first time in 9th December 1946. During this, Sachidananda Sinha became the temporary president or chairman of a Constituent Assembly. What is the role of a Muslim League? Means there is no role of Muslim League because they have boycotted the Constituent Assembly and demanded for a separate country. Right. The Constituent Assembly met second time on 11th December 1946. During this session, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the permanent president. S.C. Mukherjee became vice president of a Constituent Assembly. On 13th December 1946, an objective resolution was passed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Right here, objective resolution was passed by Jawaharlal Nehru. It is nothing but these are the keywords for a constitutional makers. Under this, the people of India were guaranteed social, economical, political equality and fundamental freedoms. This resolution was unanimously adopted on 22nd January 1947 and the preamble of the constitution is based on objective resolution passed by Jawaharlal Nehru. When was objective resolution was passed? It was passed on 13 December 1946. When objective resolution was accepted 22nd January 1947. Who passed the objective resolution? Jawaharlal Nehru passed the objective resolution. Right here you can see when the objective resolution was moved 13 December 1946. When it was accepted 22nd January 1947. The national flag, tricolor flag accepted as a national flag of India on 22nd July 1947. This national flag was designed by Pingani Venkaiah. The time taken to make the constitution by Constituent Assembly is 2 years, 11 months, 17 days. Total money spent in making the constitution is 64 lakhs. On 24 January 1950, Jana Gana Mana was adopted as the national anthem. On total, we have in 1950 total we have 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules in the constitution. Now presently in 2022 we have around 25 parts, 448 articles and 12 schedules in the constitution. Right, this was in 1950 and this was in 2022. Numbers were increased. The assembly had met for how many sessions? Total 11 sessions in order to make the constitution. The draft was published in January 1948 and the country people were asked for their feedback and inputs within 8 months. The last session was held on 26 November 1949. On this day, the constitution was passed and adopted by the Constituent Assembly. That's why this day was celebrated as a Constitutional Day or Samvidhana Divas. In 26 January 1950, the constitution came into the force. Right. That's why this day was celebrated as a Republic Day. There were 8 committees in Constituent Assembly. Most important is drafting committee headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is considered as the chief architect of Indian Constitution. Union Constitution Committee, Union Power Committee, state committees were headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Steering Committee was headed by Rajendra Prasad. Rules and Procedures Committee was headed by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Right. Provisional Constitution Committee was headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities, Tribal and Excluded Area. Fundamental Rights Subcommittee was headed by Acharya Kripalani. Minorities Subcommittees was headed by H.C. Mukherjee. These were some of the important committees from Constituent Assembly. Right, this is about Module 1. For Module 2, go through the playlist. If you want to know more about Constitution of India, there were around 5 to 6 videos in my playlist. Go and check those videos. Thank you for watching the video and share with your friends. Thank you.